welcome back to Cute Claws with Kelly. So today's video is doing tips with a gel base polish, and I got this from the lovely Markartt, who I so admire, and I love everything that she does. I love all of her videos, and so I decided to give this a try. And it really worked out well for me. I've actually been wearing these same tips for several weeks now, as I was letting my nails grow. And you'll see in the video that I went with kind of a almond shaped nail, and I've just been loving that shape and the length. So shout out to Markartt for this idea. And getting into it, I just went ahead and used a dehydrator on my nails to prep my nails, and then now I'm going in with a primer from Mia Secret, which I also really love. I think it works really well with the gel polish system. So I'm just getting that on the nail, and then you see that I've got my nail lamp, my LED UV lamp, like propped up with a couple of dip powders off the table a little ways, so that I'll be able to hold the tip in place and then stick my hand under the light and give it a cure. So that might be a trick that works for the rest of you, because you do have to hold the nail tip in place and give it a 10-second cure for it to hold in the place that you put it. And then later on, after I get all of the tips on all my nails, then I go ahead and I put my hand in for like a full 60 seconds. So here I'm just sizing the nail tips to my nails to find which ones work, basically making sure that they go sidewall to sidewall. And then you'll see that I put a little bit of the dip base on the well of the tip, and then I hold it on my nail and put it in the light. So nothing crazy, pretty simple process. If you were getting this in the light and it cured a little bit crooked, no worries. You can definitely go in with your nail clippers and file and kind of just shape it to get it right on your nail. So I didn't have any issues. I did find that because the nail shape is different to me, I usually go with square nails or like coffin shape. Doing this almond shape nail was definitely something different for me, and I'm a perfectionist, so I was trying very hard to get it centered and even on both sides. So this really did take a lot of time, and that is why I've kept these tips on my nails for as long as I have, because I didn't want to have to soak off and have everything, including the tip, soak off and then have to go in and do this process again. So what I've been doing instead is I've been laying down a layer of gel polish, which you'll see near the end of the video, on top of these tips. And then I've been putting a couple of layers of natural dip powder on top of that before I put my colors on. And that way I don't have to do any soaking off, and I can just kind of use my nail drill to drill down till I hit that natural powder, and then I can start a new set of nails. So let me shush for a little while and let you guys watch me finish getting these tips on, and I will pop back in when I feel like I have something else to share with you. So now that those are all cured up, I am going in with my little tool here for nipping the tips off. And I'm just going to go with a pretty long nail, long for me at least, giving myself plenty of wiggle room to shape the nail into that almond shape. So I found that, you know, as I was shaping, I definitely was bringing the length down a little bit. So that's why I started with such a long nail, because I was worried if I took too much off during this step, then after I was all done shaping it, then I'd end up with really short nails, and then what's really the point of putting tips on? So again, because shaping this tip in the almond style is so foreign to me, I'm just not well practiced with it. I just wanted to start kind of on the longer side. So you can always take length down, obviously, but you can't get it back once you've gone too short. So after I get the length the way that I feel is good for me, now I'm going in with these straight edged nail clippers to just trim the edges. And I'm leaving a little bit of the tip, the square like tip at the end. So after I take off from each side, they do look coffiny, so you could definitely like stop here and just kind of smooth it out a little bit with either a buffing block or a nail file, and then you'd have yourself some really nice looking coffin nails. For me, I just kind of used my nail file to round the top edge so that it wouldn't be flat, and it would be, you know, obviously round to get the almond shape. But I didn't want to be filing for ages, so that's why I used these nippers or nail cutters rather, to take some of the sides down. So now I'm going in with this Markartt nail file that I got from Amazon. It's a 100/180. I really like using the finer side, which would be the 180 side, to do the bulk of my filing. The other side works well too. It's just obviously a little rougher, and so I wanted more of like a smooth edge. So I find that for my nails, I really like the higher grit for shaping. So that's what I tend to use. Do use the other side, the more coarse side, a little bit, just to help shave down some of the sides of the nails a little bit quicker. But generally I go with the finer side. So I'm just going to work this file. I'm working evenly, going from side to side, and I'm constantly looking to make sure that the tip is like in the middle of my nail. I have seen some folks use like a really light colored marker to kind of like dot down the center of their nail so that they exactly know where the tip is. And that is very helpful. So if you're having a hard time just kind of eyeballing it, then definitely go in and put like a dashed line or some dots starting from your cuticle all the way forward to your nail tip, right in the center, and that definitely will help you keep it centered. So I'm just going to kind of be going back and forth on each nail to make sure that it is even, get it just the way that I like it. So again, I will pop out. Y'all keep watching, and I will be right back. So now that they're all filed in the almond shape that I like, next step is to blend the nail tip in with the natural nail. So I'm going to go in with my e-file here. I have my my sanding band nail bit, or drill bit rather, on there. I think that this is a 240 grit sanding band, if I recall correctly rather. So I will, put the links down for the nail drill down in the box, because it came with this particular bit and a couple of these sanding bands. So I am just working it on the very lowest setting on the top of the nail tip to blend it down with my natural nail. So I'm really trying to get it quite thin so that I don't have any kind of weird like bumps or like ridges that are created when I go to put like the gel polish on top, or certainly later on when I go to dip the nails. So I'm just working that to get it nice and perfect. I did notice that usually I don't, like I said, I'm like working this at the very lowest like RPM that the drill goes. And I normally don't have any issues with like working the drill in such a way that it like starts feeling warm on my nail surface. I'm really careful about not hurting myself and keeping my drill moving. But I did notice that, it did feel warm in some spots, and I wonder if that has something to do with the gel base underneath that I use to adhere the tip to. So once I noticed that it started feeling warm, like I just moved the nail drill over to the other side and just kept working it back and forth like that. And then eventually, as I was working it and got the nail tip blended down a little bit more, I didn't notice the warmth or the heat as much. But I've never had that happen before when I've used tips with like a regular nail glue or a dip base and then activator combo, putting tips on, because you can certainly do that as well. So just an FYI, I think personally it had something to do with the fact that the gel base underneath might just be something that, is like a conduit for heat a little bit more, so something like that maybe. Not really too sure. I'm just kind of giving my best guess here. So once I get all of those nail tips kind of blended down to where I'm rubbing it with my finger and I don't feel a ridge there, I went ahead and, dusted off all of the filing dust. And now I'm going back in with that Mia Secret dehydrator to prep the nail again before I'm going to be putting some gel polish base and top coat on there. So after I dehydrate, I'm going in one more time as well with this Extra Bond primer from Mia Secret. It says on the bottle that it works good with gel polish, so this was the first time that I had bought this, and again, it was something that I saw from Marla Chris that she used and wanted to give it a try, because lately I've been having issues with lifting. That's not something that I always experience. I wonder if over the summer I've had that problem because I've been in the water so much, going to the lake pretty much every weekend, and just generally being a little bit rougher with my hands being outdoors. And so I've kind of been looking for different things, different ways to, get the nails to adhere better to my natural nail, like the dip powder and everything. So this was something I picked up that I definitely feel helped, or has been helping. And then there's another trick that I found that I want to wait to share with you till we get a little bit further into the video. I'll definitely mention it at the end. But here I'm going in with this gel polish base again. So I used the same Model 1's gel polish base to adhere the tips to my nails, but now I'm going to put a layer over the whole nail, including the tip. And then I let this cure for 60 seconds in the lamp, and then I'm going to go in top of that with a top coat. And so what this does is, since gel polishes they withstand, what do I want to say? They withstand moisture a little bit better than like the dip base does. I thought, again, this was something Marla did in her video, and I thought, ooh, that could really work for me since I've been having so many issues. And so what I'm doing is I'm basically putting like a layer of this gel polish down, and then I'm going to dip on top of it. So this was the first time I'm giving it a try to see if it would work for me, and I was really very happy with the results. There was one but, which again I'll get to at the end, I solved the problem with a little trick that's been working well for me, so I'll definitely share that with you all too, just in case you're like me and you've had some issues with lifting. But I do like that, this putting the gel polish down first underneath the dip, it kind of like adds that layer of protection to your nail. And then I also find that if you do happen to have your dip like lift off of your nail, then you don't have to worry about the moisture getting in underneath there as much, because your natural nail is protected with this layer of gel polish. So definitely a sweet trick that again I learned from Marla. Love you, girl. Thanks so much for putting up this video when you did, because it's been a lifesaver for me. If you guys haven't checked Marla Chris's YouTube channel out, I definitely recommend that you do that. She is just full of nail knowledge. I know that she's not like a licensed nail tech or anything, but that girl does her research. So definitely learn a lot from her in what I'm trying to do. She saves me a lot of time, so definitely check her out if you can. So I'm gonna pop out. I'm gonna let you guys watch me finish this up, and then I'll come right back at the end and share my little extra secret with you all. Okay, so finishing up this hand, I'm going to do my other hand. And what Marla did is she left it shiny like this, and she put a layer of peel base on top, and then she dipped, because she's changing out her manis quite frequently. I don't use peel base because I'm trying to like get as much life out of my manis as I can. And I did notice that dipping on top of this smooth surface caused definite lifting of the powder. Not I didn't have any issues with the gel polish, but it did peel. So what I've been doing is roughing it up before I then dip on top of it, and that has been a lifesaver. So that's the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night. Bye bye.